Ming was standing right at the entrance waiting for Yuji to arrive so that she would not face any problem getting inside. And along with this, we are also shown that when Yuji was getting ready, she first put on the necklace that he had gifted her. But then out of embarrassment, she takes it off and puts it aside. In the next scene, Wonwi was also present at this banquet, and as soon as he sees Yuji, he starts saying me and this poor girl at the same party. What days have come? And along with this, he deliberately spilled a drink on Yuji as well. Ming gets very angry, but Yuji stops him and says there are a lot of people here. Do not create a scene. After that, Ming also found an excuse now. He tells her okay, then come and change your clothes. And along with this, we see that inside his house, a very beautiful dress was already kept ready. As soon as Yuji sees it, she starts asking him, do girls' clothes stay with you often? Do girls visit you here frequently? He smiles and says yes, they absolutely keep visiting, but most of them are usually my stylist. After that, we are shown that he had arranged a beautician and a stylist, and they get Yuji ready in a very gorgeous way. Ming was very restless to see her. He was standing leaning against the door, but meanwhile he was being called downstairs to the party, so he leaves. But when he was telling her to get ready, he had said to Yuji, consider all of this as a loan from my side. You can pay me back later. And the poor girl was getting ready while also thinking about how much it was all going to cost. Meanwhile, looking at Ming's family, it seemed that if there were two people he loved the most, one of them was his grandfather, and the second was his aunt whose name was Qilon. And Aunt Qilon had just returned from abroad today. And it is right here that we find out that the female number that was repeatedly messaging him saying your abroad admission is done, that was this same aunt who was secretly getting his admission done behind Dad's back. In the next scene, Dad calls him and says go to Wonwi, make peace. Apologize. I have heard that you picked a fight with her again this morning. Now he does this, he quietly goes and starts saying to Wonwi, do you think I will apologize? And what exactly should I apologize for? For destroying your ego or for being more skilled than you? He was taunting her very well, but at the same time he had a smile on his face and tells her we are not small children anymore. Just show in front of our dads that we have made up. And both their dads were also standing together. They bow to them and convince them as if these two have become very good friends. After that, Ming had gotten all of this done by threatening her that, anyway, I do not get along with my dad. He will scold me. He will fight with me. It will not matter to me, but it is going to matter a lot to you. Meanwhile, all of this was still going on when Ming's eyes fall to the side and there was Yuji, who had come ready, and she was looking no less than a Cinderella. She was looking so beautiful that it seemed Ming's eyes were not going to fall on anyone else now. He brings her outside with him near that same van, using the excuse of listening to whose song he had planned to enter the party. He starts saying the song you had told me about was not in their list, and maybe today's occasion was such that it did not suit it either. That is why I arranged a separate performance just for you. After that, those people sing that very song for her and she listens to the band live. And along with this, Ming asks her to join him for a dance. She did not know how to dance, but he was teaching her very lovingly, and this scene had become very romantic. All of this was like a fairy tale in Yuji's very tough life. In the next scene, Ming wanted to cherish her. He wanted to bring her into his life. He wanted to share all her pain and sorrow. All of this was becoming completely clear from this entire scene. Here the two of them also talk together. He asks her, do you understand the meaning of this song? And its poetry was quite deep. There was a story in it where a girl hurts a boy. The boy also knew that he was getting hurt, but still he gets deceived until the end. Even while helping that girl, he leaves this world. After that, Yuji starts asking him, what if I ever hurt you? He says, so what? Will I do nothing? Well, now along with this, Dad comes on stage in front of all the guests. He had a painting placed beside him, and here he was showing everyone as if he loved his late wife very much and had kept her memories close to his heart till today. And of course this was a complete white lie. He did not even remember the name of this painting properly, and all of this was unbearable for Ming. He turns and says its name is Never Ending Summer. And my mother did not just make this, but created separate masterpieces for all 4 seasons. Meanwhile, he was illustrating all of this in front of everyone when Yuji receives a call. It turns out that a kidney donor can be arranged for grandma, but for that, 3 lakh is needed. She was talking about this on the phone when guards come to her who were actually sent by her mother, and they were saying, get your invitation check. If you do not, we will have to throw you out. And this was the moment when Yuji thinks, do I want to do this? But then her grandma's face comes in front of her, and she makes this difficult decision. As soon as the stage was empty, she runs onto the stage and says in front of everyone, I am visible to you here at this party because a lady here is very special to me who is today's hostess. What should I call her? Should I call her mom? Now everyone gets shocked. Is this Guyan's daughter? What kind of background does she have? But meanwhile, she gives her mother a mini heart attack and changes the topic. She says she is like a mother to me. Actually, even more than a real mother, because she has anonymously supported my studies for so many years. And when I found out who she was, I thought there could be no better occasion than this to give her credit. And in that one moment in front of the world, she had made her into an angel. Now everyone says, Guyan, you should also go on stage. Now she hugs her, and in front of the world it was appearing as if she had done a charity. But who knew that this was actually her own real daughter? In the next scene, in front of everyone, they create a heartwarming scene. But Ming had clearly understood that he had been used. He knew Guyan well, and he knew Yuji well too. He was not going to fall for all of this. On the other hand, we are shown Jiang. He waits for a long time, but when Yuji does not appear at the art exhibition, he goes to the hospital to grandma to find out why her phone is off. Is she with you? And it is right here that he finds out that she has been completely missing the whole day. And right there, the Lu family banquet invitation was also lying there, and his eyes fall on it. And as soon as he sees this, he understands that she has gone to the party with Ming. Meanwhile, after creating so much of a scene over there, Ming starts saying to Yuji, so that is what it is. That is why you came to this party. Where did you learn the fun of hurting people? You are very good at it. And along with this, he makes her sit on his bike and takes her to a hill point outside the party and starts saying to her, I am slowly starting to understand by connecting the dots. You approached me. You tried to win my trust. You became friends with me. You did all of this to approach Guyan, right? I was just a tool for you. After that, she was so ashamed that she could not even meet his eye. He turns her and says to her, in all this long time that we have spent together, did you ever truly like me even once? Without even hearing her answer, he kisses her, and along with it, fireworks also started there. And then in the end, she turns away from there saying, I do not know, I never thought about you in this way. After that, Ming had made one more effort, but once again he was heartbroken. Yuji was also heartbroken, but she hides it. Now after that, he sits on his bike and leaves. But in the middle of the way it occurs to him that how will she go back from there alone? He turns back, but she had already taken a taxi and left from there before him. Next scene, as soon as she reaches home, her mother was standing right in front of her flat, who starts telling her not everyone is destined to become Cinderella. Keep in mind, these shoes did not fit you. And truly there was something like that. The shoes that Ming had chosen for her had wounded her feet. After that, she was demanding from her mother even while standing at the party. She was demanding from her mother that dad's insurance had 3 lakh and for grandma's treatment also 3 lakh is needed. That insurance was in my name which you secretly got withdrawn from me in childhood. Give me back those 3 lakh. Today mom tells her I will give that too. And along with that, I will also give the extra money over the treatment cost. But after this, you will come to our house tomorrow for breakfast because Chillin's eyes have fallen on you. She has invited you. In front of her, you have to say that from now on you are leaving the city forever. You will have to make up for the scene you created last night. Meanwhile, Jiang had also heard all of this. He comes and gives her a bandage and starts saying to her, this means you approached Ming because you wanted to reach your mother. Now on this, Yuji gives him no answer. She only says this much, I am not a good person. But Jiang tells her maybe others could not understand you, but I can understand you well. Some blood relationships are such that they cannot be broken and you cannot live with them either. Next day, we are shown at the breakfast table. Now on something, Ming and Dad get into a fight again. Actually, the matter was that Ming wants to go abroad and study art, but Dad would simply not agree. He wanted him to study finance and take care of the business, but he was just like his mother. Meanwhile, this very fight was still going on when Aunt Chilon says there is a guest at breakfast today. And along with this, she brings Yuji there. Seeing Yuji enter there, Ming is left shocked. Yuji says hello to everyone except Ming. So here mom deliberately says, say hi to your brother too. And she just has to put a stone on her heart and say hi to him. When Goyen was forcing both of them to become siblings, hearing this, Ming's mood turns very bad. He was about to get up and leave when Grandpa stops him and says, you have no manners at all. After that, Goyen tells everyone that there is a plan to go to a peaceful place far away from this city to prepare for the tongue exam. But she had no idea that this plan would backfire on her. Grandpa and Chilon both say, why are you going so far? Come stay at our house. It is very peaceful here, and on top of that, our child Ming. He is very naughty. He pays no attention to his studies. You will study together with him and help him in his college entrance exam. If you set a good example for him, we will be very grateful. Meanwhile, Yuji tries very hard to say no, but Ming immediately says yes and says, I have no objection. On the other hand, Goyen's own plan had backfired on her. But what could she do? In front of Chilon and especially Grandpa, she had no say at all. Yuji had also tried to make excuses, but Ming countered everything. And then on top of that, Dad put forward one condition. He says, getting admission into your mother's university is very difficult. And yes, if during this summer break you create even one problem, cause even one scene, then I will not forgive you. Forget arts and start preparing to go abroad for finance studies. And Ming immediately accepts Dad's condition. After that, no matter what Yuji had done, Ming still could not keep himself away from her. Now he shares the same thing with Fan, saying, if one day suddenly you and Ning were forcefully made siblings, made into family, what would you do? He says, my and Ning's situation is very different. We are very special. Ming asks, how? He says, don't you know, in her notebook my name is written the most. Of course, only as complaint. After that, Yuji goes back. She packs a few of her important things from home. And then the Liu family car had come to pick her up. She gets in and shifts there. And as she leaves, Jiang also sees her going. But at the same time, Ming had also come secretly just to watch her. Now along with this, we find out one more thing, and that was Goyen's wedding ceremony had still not been arranged. And the biggest obstacle in this wedding ceremony was Ming. Dad says, somehow force Ming. If he goes abroad for finance studies, then both of us can also arrange the wedding ceremony. So now Goyen had only one target, and that was to somehow properly enter the Liu family. In the next scene, as soon as Yuji shifts there, she is assigned a room. And this was the same room where Ming used to live as a child. Now without wanting to, Yuji had come very close to Ming's childhood. Now in that area there was one common washroom, not attached. So as soon as she goes to the washroom, I think intentionally Ming was already standing there. Seeing her, she gets shy and he says to her, you came and did not even say hello to me. She says, I was scared that you were very upset with me, but I did not intentionally want to upset you. He says to her, intentionally or not, but still the results were the same, right? Just then they were having this conversation when from above Goyen comes, and the moment she arrives, Ming walks away saying, your godmother has arrived. Maybe at this point Ming does not realize that these two are not godmother and daughter, but real mother and daughter. After that, Goyen also goes to the hospital and meets Grandma. She serves her, asks about her health, but Grandma still had no idea that this witch had already walked away with all the insurance money of her own son. After that, Goyen talks to Yuji alone. She starts telling her, this money I am not giving you for free, and in return you will do one task for me, and that is, you have to keep Ming away from arts and force him to go abroad for finance study. If he goes, then only I will become strong. And with this she had given half the money in advance. But Yuji now did not want to do anything bad to Ming again. She says, this is my own money. I have the right to it, and if I expose you in front of everyone. She replies back to her, there is no benefit in exposing me. I will also end up on the street, and then who will you ask for money? How will your grandma's treatment happen? Meanwhile, when Yuji comes back home in the evening, she had brought noodles for Ming, but she finds out that he has a fever and he is refusing to take medicine. So now she takes the noodles and medicines and comes to his room herself. Seeing her, Ming was feeling very happy. Now when she gives him medicines, like a good boy, he takes the medicines too. But just as she was about to leave, he stops her and says, at least give a sick person a little company. But instead of talking to him, she was busy on her phone. So he moves forward and snatches her phone and then pushes her onto a seat and says, I feel like transferring the infection to you too. He comes close to her, but he could not do that, so then he steps back. He was very sweet. In the next scene, next day, he becomes very happy when he finds out that he received flowers from Yuji's side. These days, he wanted to take classes from a professor for arts preparation, and he had gone to give an interview with him when at home he forgets a portfolio, and as soon as Yuji finds this out, she should have stopped him, but she does not. Instead, she picks up those art pieces and goes after him. Going there, she finds out that the professor was rejecting him, saying that all your work is an imitation of your mother's, and I want you to bring me your own work, your own true inspiration. The talent inside you, When that comes out, then I will know whether I want to keep you or not. And here Ming tells the professor all his challenges about how he is not getting inspiration. He then gives him 1 or 2 pieces of advice for inspiration and says, "Come to me soon with your work." Now Ming was quite troubled, and Yuji also gets troubled for him. These days he had nothing to do, and just the 1 or 2 new paintings he had made were all of Yuji. Now an idea comes to Yuji. In her off time, she often used to go for volunteer work with Jiang. So what she does is gets his name registered there too. She thought that he would feel good with the children and get inspiration. Now as soon as he arrives there, ahead he sees Jiang. He was about to turn back, but Jiang stops him and says, "That day it was my fault. I also want to apologize to you." And then along with him, he takes him inside. Jiang and Yuji both were old here, but Ming was interacting with children for the first time. He found it quite difficult to mix with the children, and in this both of them help him quite a lot. First, he plays games together with the children, has a lot of fun, and after that story time had also come. Now Jiang had told a very good puppet story. When Ming's turn came, he was completely speechless. At this point, Yuji comes to help him and sits with him in the background and starts the story. And as soon as she starts, ahead Ming himself handles that story. This was a wolf and sheep story, which was not showing a fight between them, but rather a very good friendship. Now while telling this story, Ming enjoys it very much. And then at the ending of this story, Ming, who is the wolf, gives the black sheep a rose too. And in the background, he was giving this same rose to Yuji. The children also laugh a lot, enjoy, and along with that, Ming and Yuji had also enjoyed it very much, even if it was nonsense. Now after that, when the art classes were happening, he also sits down and starts drawing something. Here he was drawing Yuji herself. He sees that she was talking to a little girl, and from that he finds out that she had a very big dream of wanting to see an amusement park. Yuji had never gotten the chance to see it in her childhood. As soon as Yuji comes closer to see whether he got inspiration or not, what did he draw? He immediately hides his drawing and puts a child's sketch in front. Now seeing this, Yuji gets very upset, and Ming immediately grabs his bike and leaves from there. After that, Ming cared so much for Yuji. What he does is he teams up with Fan and proposes a plan from his side only, and that plan was that all the friends together would go to the amusement park to give Ming inspiration. This was just an excuse. He only wanted to take Yuji on an amusement park trip. Fan says to him a lot that you could have told her this directly, but Ming says, "What can I do? I just cannot do it." Meanwhile, there they enjoy all the rides very much, and in the bumper cars, Ming had gotten into a fight with a child. When he had hit his car, that child had cried and called his mother. And just while talking about the fight, Ming himself becomes a child. Meanwhile, here Yuji wanted to sit on the Ferris wheel, but Ming was scared of heights. So he keeps on trying to stop her with one excuse after another, and then Yuji understands. She says to him, "Actually, this is very boring, and the wind is also blowing fast. What if this falls down? Come, let us go somewhere else." Here they also had a camera with them, and were recording all their memories. He asks Yuji, "Why are you helping me?" But she avoids the topic. Ming says, "I know you very well. When you lie, I can see how your eyes look. So quickly tell the truth." And then she finally tells the truth. She says, "I had hurt you, and that is why I am ashamed, and I want to help you in every way to make up for my mistake." There was truth in her eyes, which this time Ming had recognized. After that, after a lot of fun, they come back home. Ming had also gotten inspiration. He was trying to draw a lot of things, but every time whenever he picked up the pencil, ahead Yuji would take shape. Next morning, Yuji comes to his room. She was just about to see his painting, but he blocks the painting from every side so that she cannot see it. He was feeling a little embarrassed, and after that, Fan had called both of them. Actually, Fan felt that he had fallen in love with Ning, and this same thing he wanted to share with those friends. Ming says, "You found out very late. I had found out even before you that you were interested in Ning." So now here Fan requests Yuji to find out if she has a crush on someone else. But as soon as she asks Ning this, Ning immediately takes Ming's name. And as soon as she takes this name, Yuji's face was worth watching. She makes a lot of fun of her and says, "Actually, there is nothing like that. I was just reading your heart." After that, Ming and Yuji both together start helping Fan. Fan had decided that he would do a lot of decorations in school and call Ning there on her birthday and propose to her, asking if she would be his girlfriend. Meanwhile, Yuji brings her to school at night time on some excuse. They had already gotten the guard on their side. He immediately opens the gate. Ning sees the decorations. She was liking them. Now she moves forward. In the ground there was a surprise for her, and this surprise was such that packed in a box, Fan was sitting there. But here a disaster happened. His phone had switched off, and the box had closed on him in such a way that it would just not open. Fan had called Ming there wearing a mascot to help him, but he refuses, so he had to pay money and call the security guard. Meanwhile, finally, the mascot also arrives there. But this was not the security guard, but Ming himself, who could not leave his friend alone in this condition. Now then, finally packed in the gift, Fan comes out. Ning was just surprised, but then Fan's mood had turned bad. Being packed in the box there was heat. He himself was also drenched in sweat, and the cake had also melted. He says sadly, nothing romantic remained. All the preparations are ruined. The other two friends had already left from there, but Ning feels that his preparations were very good. She says, no, everything was very good. After that, Ming, when wearing the mascot, was coming out with Yuji. He intentionally does not say anything at all so that she does not recognize him by his voice. But he had no idea that Yuji had already recognized him long ago. She immediately removes his mask and says to him, do you think I am a fool? Not a single security guard of our school is as tall as you. On the other hand, inside they show us that Ning found the cake and all the other decorations, everything very much to her liking. But as soon as Fan says to her that will you be my girlfriend, she immediately refuses, saying that, I don't know which university I will get admission in and which one you will get in. I do not want to be in any long-distance relationship. Fan's heart was broken. On the other hand, poor Ming was in a very bad state from the heat. In the mascot, he was getting no air at all. So now Yuji says to him, sit behind me on the scooter. You will get nice cool air. He says, I never sit on anyone's back seat. He had copied Yuji's own dialogue, so she also immediately replies back, don't you remember when I saved you from the man? You were sitting on my back seat then. Now both of them were going together, and here they both enjoy a lot, but then their enjoyment gets jinxed when traffic police spotted them, and they immediately stopped them, because Ming sitting behind had not worn a helmet. Now both of them were busy apologizing. After that, for Ming's next inspiration, he takes her with him to a place. This was a very big garden, and the atmosphere here was very beautiful. This was a scenery where seeing it, his mama used to often bring Ming along with her in childhood to make painting. And in summer this view would become even more beautiful. And the uncle there knew Ming very well. That uncle's son comes to them and requests them to bring down the kite stuck in the tree. But Ming was scared of height, even though he himself was so tall. But here little Yuji gathers courage. She climbs the tree, was trying to bring that kite down when she was just about to fall. Ming steps forward and makes her land in his arms. Both of them had fallen, and on top of them a heart-shaped kite too. This scene was funny as well as romantic. After that, both of them laugh a lot. At this point, Uncle tells Yuji alone that seeing Ming, it seems like he likes you very much. Before today, he had never brought anyone here with him, and his mama is very special to him. After you are the second person who has come here with him. After that, Yuji also enjoys quite a lot here, and it seems like Ming was getting quite good inspiration. He also gets memories of his childhood, and after that Yuji and he both talk together. Ming was just telling her, give me company, keep sitting next to me. He remembers his mama, and says, I feel like I am starting to forget them. And the same thing was happening with Yuji too. She says, I am also scared that my dad's voice, his memories, may not disappear from my memory. I am very scared of this. After that, a little later, tired out, Yuji had fallen asleep. Ming comes to her. He wakes her up and then shows her one of his paintings, which was very beautiful, and this painting was once again of Yuji. He says, what can I do? As soon as I pick up the pencil, only you get drawn from my hand. You are my true inspiration. Today, when Yuji comes back to her room, Mummy was already sitting there waiting for her. She starts telling her, do not forget your target. You have to keep Ming away from arts and advise him to study finance. They were just talking about this when suddenly Ming comes down from upstairs, and Mummy acts like she had only come to check on him. Now when Mummy had left, Ming gives Yuji a gift here. He gives her that same painting which he had drawn of Yuji today, and Yuji loved it so much. She says, will you not show this to the professor? He says, I have already prepared a separate portfolio for them. This is only for you. Now the moment Ming leaves, Mummy comes back there. She was about to give her instructions again, when suddenly the painting that Yuji had hidden falls into Mummy's hand. She says, so this is the whole story. You are inspiring Ming behind my back. He is making paintings of you. And within less than a minute, she cruelly tears that beautiful painting apart. She was very cruel. Well, now Yuji was very upset. But what could she do? life had to go on. In the next scene, and on this day, Ming and his friends were all together making barbecue. And they were at that same uncle's workshop, which was Fan's uncle's shop. Here someone brings juice for Ming and a drink for himself, but she also wanted to taste the alcohol. He says no, of course you are 18 now, but I don't think this is suitable for you. But later she secretly drinks it anyway, and what was bound to happen happened. Within a short time it goes to her head, and she starts behaving strangely. And along with this, Ming was asking everyone who gave her the drink. Uncle had secretly given it, but he denies it. On the other hand, back at home we see that Mummy had noticed laundry coming from Ming's room today, and had found out that he has been painting a lot these days. She thinks why not visit his room. She sneaks inside and goes to see he had prepared one complete portfolio. A vicious smile comes on her face, and right after that she replaces all of his work. Meanwhile over there, when Yuji had gotten so drunk, Ming was helping her and was saying to her, why do you need to drink? What kind of sorrow do you have that you are trying to forget? She starts saying that I am definitely hurt because I do not want to become a bad person, but I am becoming one now. Here she accidentally shares some hidden feelings of her heart in front of him. She was telling him, do you know why I am so sweet with you? Because there is a guilt inside me, and I feel that by helping you a little and by talking nicely with you I am covering that guilt. Ming says every person has a bad side hidden inside, and I am also not that good. But she says no, you are very good. Absolutely crystal clear, and that is exactly why I like you so much. She was drunk and kept saying I like you, and Ming was very happy. He carries her home and lays her down in her bed and lovingly keeps looking at her for a long time. Next day, Mummy had made all her preparations. She was looking very happy, and right here she starts asking Yuji, tell me, which flowers should I decorate for my wedding ceremony? Which ones will suit more? And just from this she understands that something is definitely wrong with the wedding preparations Mummy is doing. And just a little while before, Ming was going to the professor today with his portfolio, so she understands immediately. She runs to Ming's room. She starts looking, something is wrong, but then it hits her, you are very clever. I have understood that you took something from his room and hid it with me so that you could put the blame on me. And then exactly that happened. Ming's beautifully prepared portfolio was hidden in Yuji's cupboard. She picks it up and runs fast behind him so that the professor does not reject him. But Mummy stops her. This time Yuji had completely lost her temper. She says enough is enough. I cannot fall any lower than this. If you try to harm Ming any further, I will expose you. Then whatever happens will happen. We will both go down together. To hell with both of us. And now she runs fast in that same direction where she had gone the last time with a portfolio. But there was a traffic jam here, so she leaves the taxi and starts running ahead on foot. At the same time, she was remembering that while leaving she had told Mummy, I do not want any deal with you. Our deal is finished from right now. Next scene, now she reaches the professor and shows him all of Ming's work. The professor says, it seems like you came running. Is everything okay? And here the portfolio which Mummy had replaced, the professor had not even opened it yet. So she secretly steals it back and finds out that the professor had not opened anything yet and had told Ming to paint something for a lifetime so that along with typing he could monitor his skill. After that, now the professor comes to Ming and starts saying, this work of yours I feel was done in a hurry, but I have seen the rest of your work. I liked it quite a lot. And the professor was not rejecting him now. He says a girl had come and also left your portfolio. And the moment he hears about that girl, Ming understands that it must be Yuji. In the next scene, now he reaches home, and as soon as he goes to Yuji's room, he finds that same torn painting there which he had gifted her with so much heart. He becomes heartbroken and brings it to his own room. He was sitting there worried about just this when Chilon Auntie comes to him and starts telling him, I have found out everything. Guyan was married before and also has a daughter, and that daughter studies in your same school. Things are getting clear now, aren't they? These two are not goddaughter and mother, but real mother and daughter. God knows what game this mother and daughter are playing. One is getting close to you, and one has, of course, already gotten close to my brother. Hearing this, Ming becomes shocked and troubled. Many things were bothering him, but one thing was definitely clear to him, and that was that Yuji is not that kind of girl. On the other hand, Yuji had now decided to not take money from Mummy, so she had to go somewhere, and what she does is she goes to take a loan. She wanted to take 2 lakh, but here the loan mister starts saying, no, I can only only give you 1 lakh because you have nothing to give as guarantee. But on this very thing she reminds him, when my dad was alive, do you remember you trusted him so much that you let us live in the old factory house for so long? And when he hears her grandmother's and her dad's name, he then says, okay, I trust them and I can give you the loan. After that, now after this, Yuji goes to Ming's house, packs her things, and was sneaking out when Ming catches her. He asks what happened? What are you carrying and running so fast? So in response, she gets so flustered that she says 2 opposite things. On one side, she says grandmother's health has gotten worse, and on the other side, she says grandmother is coming home. Ming catches her lie, so she immediately admits it and says, I just do not want to stay here anymore. But Ming had many things bothering him, so he follows behind Yuji, but she was avoiding him. And one time he catches up to her right at the moment when Louis had come to her and was asking her for money. Now she tells Ming he has come here to collect rent from us, and saying just this, she walks away from there. Meanwhile, but here Ming starts asking Louis, there is definitely something going on that is being hidden. Why have you come after her? What money do you want to take? But Louis says to him, I won't tell you just like that. Give me some money. Give me a bribe and find out her secret. But Ming says to him, not like this. Why don't we make a bet? And after the bet, if you win, then I will do whatever you want. And if I win, then you will tell me the whole truth. Well, now Louis had arranged a basketball match as the bet with him. Now Ming had arrived there with his team, and Louis was standing there with his mans. Now Yuji also finds out about this same thing. She also comes immediately to that same area to watch. But going ahead, it turns out that Louis had gotten the referee also on his side. Along with that, the mans were cheating. They were pushing Ming and his friend. But the referee would not even look. But then Ming understood that no matter what, even while facing this cheating, I will defeat him. And just then the match comes to a half break. After that, and when Yuji was standing there, Louis comes to her and says a very low thing. He says, Ming, how did you make him crazy about you? You do look beautiful, but what tricks did you use? Tell me also. Now Yuji gets very angry at this. She says, your mind is only filled with filth and you can only think like that. And she was also telling him, no matter how many matches you play with him, even if you win by cheating, you are not even worth the dust on his shoe. Just on this, Louis gets angry. He gives her a hard push and then starts kicking her. After that, he had left from there, but Yuji had gotten quite hurt. Next scene, well, now the match starts again, and this time Ming had made such a strategy that even while they were cheating, they could not beat them. Ming and his team reach exactly even. And then in the final moments, Ming scores such a goal that after which he had won against Louis. And truly, no matter what Louis did, he could never be equal to him. Well, Yuji had watched his victory and she was very happy. After that, she was just about to sneak away from there when Ming sees her leaving. Now she was trying to hide from him. She did not want to show him that she was hurt. But in the end, he does notice that she also has a cut on her forehead and she is also walking unsteadily. He asks her who did all this. She says, I had fallen down, got hurt on the foot. He says, do not lie, tell me the truth. And the moment she takes Louis's name, Ming's anger was something to see. He goes and fights hard with Louis, and in the end both of them had gotten a little injured, and on top of that, police had also been called. While sitting there, Ming gets very angry again, but this time Yuji stops him from fighting. And after that, as they were leaving from there, Ming says, why don't we also eat something? And after that, they had reached that same noodle restaurant. Looking at them, the uncle felt like these two lovebirds had a fight. He comes and asks, so Ming walks out from there in anger. Yuji's heart just sank. But a little while later, she looks and he had turned around and come back. He had only gone outside to get medicines for her. He gives her a bandage which she puts on her forehead, and after that says, show me your foot that got hurt. Now he also puts medicine on her foot and says to her, please do not lie to me. On this, Yuji says to him, I also have no interest in lying to you, but there are some secrets which I cannot tell you. I am so sorry. Now Ming says to her, okay, but still, if something like this comes again in life that Louis troubles you, then keep no secrets from me. Tell me immediately. I will go and break his faith. And after that, he was not leaving her there, but he carries her piggyback and takes her with him. Now he had reached up to her apartment. She says, leave me here. But he climbs the stairs, carrying her all the way up to the upper floors. Right in front of her house, Yuji opens the door and was going inside. Just then he senses that there is no one else at home. She had lied again. He says, you had said grandmother has come home. She says I had lied. Well, Ming gets very hurt. He thinks, why does she keep lying to me again and again? And after that, he leaves. Yuji was also feeling very sad. But what could the poor girl do? Her life was also full of helplessness. Next scene, now Ming comes home. He had joined that same painting back together again. He was looking at it and thinking, I don't know why you lied to me. There must be some reason. Ming, I have already come to know whose daughter you are, but still I will keep it a secret because you want to keep it. The next day, as soon as Yuji wakes up, she sees that a pipe has leaked in her house. Now Ming had also reached outside her house because when he was sick, Yuji had gifted him a flower pot. He was happy about it now. He wanted to get it fixed. But as soon as he comes, he finds out that Jiang has also come to her house. The pipe is broken and he is fixing it. But of course, between Jiang and Ming, things had never really been fine. He looks down on Jiang and says, you should have called a professional. Just then they were going to the kitchen to check. Jiang says it is completely fixed. And as soon as they start to check, the leakage starts again immediately, and a romantic scene had formed here. Ming saves Yuji from getting wet, and they both get lost in each other's eyes. First, Jiang was watching this scene, but then he thinks it is better to just turn off the water rather than watch a romantic scene. Well, this time Ming comes into action, and now when he tried to fix the pipe, the problem gets completely solved, and now he was showing off that he can do better work than Jiang too. Yuji thanks them both and says, complimentary lunch on my side as a thank you. But they say your house is full of water everywhere. Where will we have lunch here? So Jiang takes them to his house. Here, first of all, Ming had changed his clothes. Jiang had given him one of his new outfits. Ming asks Jiang, I am getting a strange feeling. Do you have any feelings for Yuji? They were just talking about this when Yuji comes from upstairs and says, you two have not started fighting, have you? But she says, no, not at all. She says that is good. She closes the door and goes to cook something, saying make good friends with each other. Now Yuji had prepared something nice to eat from whatever was in the fridge. The three of them were sitting together eating when Zhang's mummy comes back earlier than expected today. And as soon as her eyes fall on Ming, she says, what is he doing here? No member of the Lu family can step foot in my house. Remove him from here. And right with this, both Ming and Yuji walk out from there. Ming says, Yuji, don't you want to ask something? She says, no, I know the van that came to pick me up once had come for Jiang one day too, and he had told me that he had gone to eat with his dad. So of course I had understood that you two are stepbrother. And then Ming says, yes, that is how it is, and his mummy hates me and my mummy very much, because 6 months before I came into this world, he had already arrived. That is why she feels their right comes first. But I am the only legitimate one, right? Well, now they had come to Yuji's house. She wanted to pick up some things from there and go to grandmother at the hospital when right here Ming's eyes fall on some documents, and he finds out that these days Yuji needs money and she has applied for a loan. He does not show this thing in front of Yuji. Instead, he randomly asks her, is your expenses and everything going okay? Grandmother, who is sick, she says yes, everything is fine. After that, now Ming was about to drop her at the hospital and leave, but grandmother spots him and calls him inside. She thinks what a handsome boy this is. And then as soon as they sat down and were talking, the doctors call Yuji inside and grandmother gets a chance to talk to Ming alone. She starts telling him, my daughter is very lonely. She is only 18 years old. At this age, people have their innocence. They start enjoying their youth, but she keeps getting stuck in troubles. I want you to be a good friend to her, so take care of her and make sure that she enjoys these memorable days well. I just want to see my granddaughter happy. Next scene now, just then the doctors come. They were telling grandmother a kidney donor has been found for you, and you should get the transplant done as soon as possible. But grandmother was worried about the expense, this much expense. I do not have that much money. So now this was exactly the moment when Ming had understood something. He later stops the doctor and starts asking him, they are so poor. How will they afford this money? So the doctor tells him that girl who comes, she was saying that I am talking to my mother about this. She will definitely give the money. And after knowing the whole truth, Ming was sitting on his bike going from there and was thinking, Guyan, how low will you go? You were making all of this happen. You were taking advantage of this poor girl's helplessness, and she was hurting me while trying to get her grandmother treated.